All right, welcome. Moving into our third session of Backtesting for Success. We are continuing as normal here, currently on January 24th. Last session it wasn't profitable. So we're currently up about 15% on the account, which over the course of 3 weeks, 15% is not bad. But anyhow, moving forward here, I'm actually going to start moving down to a 5-minute chart for my lowest time frame with a 15. The 1 minute, it's just too much noise. I get lost in the sauce. I do have 3 days highs and lows marked out, as you can see. Change the color on this. As you can see, we have been taking previous day's highs. On Monday, we took Friday's highs in London. On Tuesday, we took Monday's highs, well, just at the end of close. With that in mind, let's move forward. Going to start marking out 1600 and midnight price. And let us proceed. Strong protraction down. In the Asian session, it's usually rather rare to see movement like that in the Asian session. Looking at this range, so Monday's range, if I draw a fib here, this is Monday's high to low, effectively. You can see that we're moving into 50% of that daily range, going into 8 p.m. now. Assuming that we want to move into a discount of this range, would expect price to move into this BISI. And if we move further below that, I would want to integrate this entire range. But I'm curious to see how price interacts with this BISI. Approaching midnight, consolidating around that 50% level, going into 2 a.m. I'm going to mark up my midnight price here. Going into 3 a.m. Going into 4, see some slight movement below midnight price. We didn't quite make it to this imbalance, but we did consolidate and find support at 50% of this range. Okay. As we approach 5, we start to dip down into that BISI. Going into 6:30. So we have this imbalance here, which is into a deeper discount of this previous day's range. $8.15. Really interesting to see this tap off of that BISI. Going into 8:30, this is a liquidity grab point in time. I would be curious if we find support within this BISI. Going into 9:15. It's Wednesday. We've already taken Tuesday's low during the Asian range of all sessions, and it looks like we're going to take Monday's low. Looks like that's where price is reaching for. What sort of imbalances do we have in this area? We do have this BISI, but that has been balanced. We have these relative equal lows here. I'm curious. I want to take the entire range of the last 2 days. I was using just the range of the last 1 day. This was in a premium, a discount. This area was in a discount of this range here. This was in a 78.6% retracement of this range. We continue to go lower, which makes me think that price is referring to this range here in terms of where it is seeking premium and discount. So I'm going to draw a fib on that. Interesting to note that we are approaching the 50% level of the last 2 days' ranges. Also happens to be below Monday's low. We also have this BISI right here, which is unbalanced. Price could be moving for this. There's also these BISIs as well. The bullish order block here. We could see price move as low as here before finding support. With that marked out, let's proceed further. We move into that 50% level of those 2 previous daily ranges. Going into 10:30 a.m. Again, so price reaches into below 50% into discount of the previous 2 days range. We're starting to see movement above. Do see a change in the state of delivery on the 5-minute. Okay, so that's very interesting to note. The way that price moved was we moved into a discount of Friday to Monday. Friday to Monday's price range for past 2 previous days. We move into below 50% of that, and we do find support at that BISI. Taking all this sell side as well. I'm going to take this fib off just for a little bit of clarity. So we've moved into a discount, moving back towards premium. This sort of smells like an ICT sell day, but we will just have to see. We have seen displacement after approaching Monday's low, meaning if I see a deeper retracement into this displacement leg from 10:30, I would likely buy it. Going into noon now. Looking at this range, the current day's dealing range, we are in a premium of the current day's dealing range, and we have found support at this SIBI. So this could indicate lower prices. I'm going to go ahead and take off these BISIs below me. We may continue to go lower, but I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not quite sure we could either be, okay, because we're in the premium of the current day's daily range. So price moves from a premium to a discount, discount to a premium. We just moved to a premium. We could continue to move. Well, okay, rather, price just moved to a discount relative to this bearish displacement. So we could continue to move further down, but at the same time, we also reached, from the past 2 days dealing range, from this entire displacement leg, we moved into a discount and found support from this BISI here. With that larger picture in mind, well, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, and that's okay. Still below midnight price, going into 115. We tap midnight's price. Notice the inversion fair value gap. We do take that high. It's now 230. $3.45. And the day is done. Really interesting day. So this is a doji day, right? We open here, move lower, move higher. So this is a doji day. Not much movement overall on the daily candle, but a really interesting market maker buy model with the original consolidation starting here. We have that change in state of delivery here. This price closes above this swing high. Also very interesting to note that this reversal happens at 10:30, which, using quarterly theory, is we can either see continuation of the previous trend, which is downwards, or we can see reversal of that trend from 10:30 to 12. And we see that. So really interesting to see that reversal. Happen at 12. Excuse me, at 10:30. Okay. We didn't really see much retracement into this displacement leg, or else I would have traded it. For example, if price had come back into this BISI, most definitely would have bought that. But that's fine. Oftentimes, when we're using the 15-minute, we're not going to see those retracements, and I'm sure if I move down to a 1-minute, I could have nabbed an OTE, but at the same time, there's a lot more noise on the 1-minute. Anyhow, now I'm fine with not taking any trades. There's a lot of value in just analyzing what happened with these past 2 days, which in reality what happened is, from this entire range, the past 2 days, we moved into a discount, finding support in this BISI, and we move higher. That's really interesting to see. Also the accuracy with which we tap the 61.8% retracement level. Moving forward though, going to mark out the day's highs and lows, which this is, okay, it's not an inside day. We did take Tuesday's low as well as Monday's low, but we saw strong reaction from that Monday low being taken. Low of the day made at 10:30. Random, huh? Okay, the next day's news, GDP, non-defense. Okay, nothing too high impact. This is going to be Wednesday's high. We have Wednesday's low here. I'm going to draw out that Friday low. I'm going to draw out that Tuesday high. We've already taken Monday's high. Okay, moving into the Asian session, consolidating, piercing into that previous day's high. Moving into 130, moving down to this 15-minute BISI. Looks like we do find support there. Take that buy side. Going into 430, we tap midnight price. Moving into a premium of this displacement leg. $6.30, $6.45. Really interesting to see how price interacts with midnight price at 4:30, 4:45. We tap it and run away. Also, something really interesting to note is this trend line liquidity. I've seen this too many times where price will leave this trend line liquidity, and there's usually 3 taps of it, but on the 4th tap it'll go through. So these next candles I would expect to go through, up and through this trend line liquidity, breaking this trend line. So we see some of that. Going into 7:30, yeah, okay, so we do break that trend line liquidity. We have this Tuesday's high. It's Thursday now, so it looks like we're reaching for Tuesday's high. 7:45, large movement upwards. We have this 8:30 news. I'm curious if our 8:30 news will give us an OTE into this displacement leg. We tap that 50%, going into 8:15. We move further down. A part of me wants to buy this because we are in a discount of this displacement leg. Usually before 8:30, price will reach down into a discount before running higher, or vice versa if the situation is bearish. So I'm anticipating price to respect this BISI, and with the 8:30 candle to plunge higher. That's my expectation. Interesting. Okay. So that 8:30 candle is actually referring to this entire range. Basically the entire daily range. Found this SIBI and referred to that. I guess I should have expected that we needed to reach into a deeper discount at 8:30 before moving higher. We're most definitely going to take this Tuesday's high now. Most definitely, yes we do. We take that buy side. To and through, I want to see a level of continuation here. Going into 9 a.m. (9:30) hits. Large movement upwards. (9:45) hits. We move back into that BISI. Okay, so we find support of that BISI going into 10:15. Curious how price is going to respond to this 50% of this wick. Maybe find a strong reaction at that 50%. Interesting to note that we move up, fail at 50% of this wick, displace lower, retrace 50% of that displacement leg, finding a premium, before moving further down. Back below midnight price. Now that's really interesting. It's very frequent to see rapid repricing after hitting midnight price. Looking at the sell side points, the 15-minute pools of liquidity, we've taken this. There's this trendline liquidity. We have this swing low here. Interesting. Back into that BISI, which is now turned a SIBI. Curious if we will continue to head lower after this, but at the same time we did find strong support at midnight price. Going into 11:45. Could end up coming for these swing highs here. Very interesting to note these relative equal highs here. Price generally does not just leave that around. It will want to come back to that. take this fib off. I'm going to put a fib on this displacement leg. I think it's clear that we're in a state of buy-side delivery. If we moved back into this bullish order block and below the 50% level, I would be a buyer. I think we will see higher prices here. Going into 130, we take that relative equal high, most likely targeting these swing highs. Going into 2, we move into this BISI. Yeah, we're definitely going to take this high. I'm fairly certain. Notice how price moves into that BISI. Not even down to the 50% level, so this is pretty bullish to me. Going into 230, going into 245, going into 3, and yeah, buy side taken. $330. This is most likely the high of the day here at 330. Okay, we see the high of the day. Goodness at 4. Interesting. Really interesting day here. This price action here should have given me a strong indication that we would go higher. In terms of looking for OTEs, I'm looking at this displacement leg. And we do move into a discount of this displacement leg. At 2, we also had this opportunity. But we didn't even reach down into 50%. Which that alone is an indicator of strong bullishness. When we don't even reach to below 50%, this is an indicator that price does want to go higher. And has a strong urge to. It has no time to even dip down below into a true discount. Excuse me. I haven't really taken any trades. We're just in a state of tape reading, and I'm perfectly happy to just tape read. Moving forward, I'm gonna mark out midnight price. Oh, I never set my clock. Interesting. How long have we been going here? 28 minutes. Okay, so we've got 32 minutes left. Excuse me. Okay. Because we're going to want to mark out the highs of the day. Low of the day made it 11:15. High of the day made it 4 p.m. We have bullish momentum here. We've been taking previous days highs and lows after moving into a discount of this entire range. So we take previous day's highs and lows. On Tuesday close, we take Monday's high, and then during the Asian session, we begin to rapidly move down lower, taking Tuesday's low, taking Monday's low, find ourselves in a discount of this entire leg, and we resume our buy program. Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, so let's see, what is this? Thursday. Okay, so Thursday's high. Thursday's low, gap down, Asian session consolidation as usual. Going into midnight. Moving higher into midnight, I'm curious if this new day opening gap is going to be a magnet for price. Going into 3 a.m., consolidating around midnight price. Going into 5:30 a.m., still in a strong consolidation here. Going into 7 a.m., we move into this new day opening gap. We almost balance it. A lot of sell side down here. I imagine price is going to start reaching for this. Just moved into a premium of this displacement leg. Curious if we're going to move lower now as we go in A15. 8:30 hits some large candle movement. 8:30 candle rebalances this new day opening gap. A lot of sell side down here. I expect price, honestly, I would expect the 9:30 candle to come and sweep this. Momentum is bullish. We have been taking previous day's highs. So I do want to keep that in mind. It's also a Friday. We could see a TGIF where we retrace strongly into this upside weekly candle. Okay, so there's 9:30. Looks like we continue to reach for previous day's highs. Price finding support of this 5-minute BISI. Going into 10:45. I put a fib on this displacement leg. So we move down into a discount of this displacement leg. However, we have at a higher time frame level and we can see reversals at previous day's highs. So on one end, we could look at this as a buying opportunity. Price moving back into the discount of this displacement leg, most likely looking for this inefficiency. But at the same time, this could be a reversal. We've had to change the state of delivery here. And for the rest of the day, we could seek this sell side liquidity. There's multiple ways of looking at it. We're either retracing into this displacement leg to move higher, or we're reversing here at previous day's highs. So there's multiple contexts in looking at it. It could be framed either way, so I wouldn't want to trade that. Interesting. Okay, so I am going, I'm going to trade this. Stop above the mean threshold of this wick. Take profit just near one standard deviation of the displacement. Context behind the trade is, I believe we're in a position of reversal now, and I believe we'll continue to go lower. I see the sell side down here. It's 11:15. I believe we're going to see lower prices, and I believe that we're going to have a reversal at taking previous day's low. So we're going to enter this trade here. Alright, either my journal is massive or it's tiny. Very interesting. I believe we will reverse after taking Thursday's high. And stopped out. Clearly, I'm wrong. Clearly, I'm wrong. So actually what was happening here was, it was the first scenario. We moved into a discount of this displacement leg, moved below 50% only to move higher. We were poised for higher prices. We moved down to a discount only to move higher. Reversal did not happen. Okay, going into noon here. $12.15. Going into 1:15. Just a massive buy day. I mean, we're up like 250 handles since the beginning of the day. No retracement at all. Moving into this BISI here. If we moved a bit lower into it, I would buy. Yeah, we don't even go to 50%. We're just going to keep going higher. Most likely finding a top at around 330. 245. Jesus fuck, man. What an enormous buy day. I mean, we're up, it's like 300 handles. January was a good time to be bullish. 315. Price still finds support at this BISI. 345. And the day is concluded. So we got tunnel visioned, we got lost in this sell side liquidity. The real opportunity of this day was this right here. This move at 10:45. This was the move. And look how it beautifully moves to one standard deviation of that displacement leg. Okay. Moving on to the next day. It's now going to be a Monday. Going into the Asian session. Moving into a discount of this displacement leg. Going into midnight. Okay. Given that we've closed below this inefficiency, let me just first mark out midnight price. I believe now that since we've moved past this inefficiency and we didn't find support, I believe price is referring to this entire dealing range. I imagine it would be likely for us to find support here, but there's also this sell side liquidity. So we could actually be referring to this entire range. But seeing how price interacts with this BISI will give us information. Okay, so we reach for this inefficiency. This is an OTE of the previous day's range. Going into 4 a.m. Going into 5 a.m. Consolidating within this BISI. Look at how the bodies respect that. Move down to this order block here. Going into 7 a.m. (8:30). Moving into a discount of this displacement leg. What I anticipate here is for price to move down like this and then move higher. That's what I am anticipating. Going into 9:15, I believe we're going to see strong upward movement. Okay, we move back down into this volume imbalance right here. Right here. We should see higher prices now. Yeah, okay. going into 10.15. A lot of possible situations here, but I want to long this. I want to long this. I put my stop just below this BISI here. I believe we're going to see higher prices for the day due to how we reacted to price moving into a discount of this range. We moved into a deep discount of this upward bullish displacement, and we found support beautifully at that 15-minute fair value gap. And I believe we're going to continue to move higher. Moved into discount based on this larger previous day's range. I mean, the body's beautifully respected this BISI, and I'm anticipating higher prices. I'm going to target low-hanging fruit. I could honestly probably target these swing highs, but low-hanging fruit is going to be the way to go here. We moved into discount of the previous day's range and found beautiful support at a 15-minute BISI in the discount area. I'm expecting higher prices. We're below midnight price. And stopped out. Okay. Clearly our bias was incorrect. And it looks like price is reaching for this sell-side liquidity here. We've taken that sell side. Okay, 10:45. Just gonna journal that. Whoa, Nelly. What's going on here? Trade recap. Our bias was incorrect. Price was seeking relative equal lows below. The move up was only to move into a premium of the day's range before moving lower. So we've taken the sell side. Still below midnight price. Curious to see how price will interact with this SIBI. Taking Friday's low, it's 11:30. Going into 1230. Going into 115. This is consolidation. May end up reaching for these swing lows here. But a part of me anticipates reversal going into 215. This is garbage price action. Would not want to trade this. Well, actually, I mean, I take it back. I mean, looking at this displacement leg, given that we were expecting, well, we could have expected lower prices. I mean, that was a beautiful sell right there. But I wasn't sure if we were going to reverse, you know, because we can reverse a Friday's low. Going into 245. 315, just going lower. Going into 330. And market close. So it looks like our opportunity was right here. We saw a reversal beginning at 10:45, lasting till about noon. And this OTE here, this was the best opportunity of the day, right here at 11:30. But I wasn't sure if we were going to reverse. I really wasn't. Looks like price is reaching for, I'm not even sure what it's reaching for. I mean, we've taken Friday's low. Could be reaching for Thursday's low, honestly. Regardless, yeah, I mean, this was our opportunity. This was our opportunity. We should have trusted this sell. I mean, we never even moved once above midnight price. Not once. Okay, moving forward. Gonna draw the day's highs and lows across here. Midnight price was the high. Oh, I'm using the bodies. Whoops. Gonna mark out midnight price. Taking Friday's lows. We still have Friday's highs. What about Thursday? Okay, so we've taken Thursdays. We have not taken Thursday's low. So that could be another interesting place to attack. What about Wednesday? We have Wednesday's low, I mean, way down here. I have a hard time believing we'd go this far down. But let us continue. Let's see, so we're now moving into Tuesday. We still need to mark out Monday's highs and lows. Okay. So we have been taking previous day's lows now. Looking at the past 3 days, we're just moving at 50% of the past 3 days' highs and lows. with that in mind, my expectation going into this day is that we're going to breach Monday's low as well as Thursday's low, and we could possibly see reversal at Thursday's low. That is what I am anticipating. I'm going to move ahead here to midnight. Yeah, okay, so we take Monday's low. Good God, excuse me. Okay, let me readjust the timer. We actually still have 4 minutes remaining, not 1. So we're just going to finish with this last day. This last Tuesday, the last day of the month of January. And that is where we will conclude the recording. So we've taken previous day's low, we've taken Monday's low here. Left a lot of sell side here. Though we have taken that sell side, but I'm expecting price to come for this Thursday's low. Interesting. But at the same side, we do also have these relative equal highs. So we could also just reverse at Monday's low, and we might not reach at all for Thursday's low. We have closed higher than 50% of this SIBI, which makes me think that we may begin to see higher prices now, given that this was closed in, so this is a balanced price range now. We balanced out this SIBI as well. It's very possible. Good God. Something in my throat here. Okay. So it's very possible that we will find support at this OTE of this displacement leg and move higher to take these relative equal highs. That's a possible scenario here. Dip below midnight price. Okay, so actually, in fact, we'll move a bit lower. Okay, so interesting. So our initial premise, this was actually a Judas above midnight. Going into 345 here, looks like we are reaching for Thursday's low. Taking this sell side. Below midnight price, going into 415, going into 430 now. Left a double bottom here. Yeah, so price takes that. And okay, so we do reach for Thursday's low. Excuse me. This is where I would anticipate some level of reversal. Going into 6 a.m. Why would I anticipate reversal? Okay, well, if we look at this entire range, we've moved below equilibrium of this entire range. That makes me think that we may see a reversal here. We've also taken the past 3 days low. So that's my bias. I don't know. My bias is that we're going to begin to reverse here soon. These relative equal highs are really interesting to me. They're very intriguing. We also have these relative equal highs. Okay, there's our timer, but we are going to finish out the remainder of this day. Going into 7:15. Curious to see how price interacts with this midnight price. Going into 8:15. Take that buy side. Imagine the next target of price would be these relative equal highs, as well as these relative equal highs. Going 8:45, we take those relative equal highs here. Next place I would anticipate price to move to would be these relative equal highs. Going into 9. $9.30, $9.45, $10, yeah, okay, so we are accurate with our drawn liquidity here. Haven't traded it. If we had retraced deeper into this displacement leg, I most likely would have bought, but we didn't even move into 50% of that, which indicates higher prices. We've taken those relative equal highs. Where would the next point of interest be? It would be this, buy side here. That would be my next point of interest. Going into 11, I'm only going to trade on deep retracements into these upward legs. If we don't retrace, then I don't trade. I want to buy on downward candles when price is bullish. Looking at this displacement leg. Moved into this 15-minute BISI. We continue to move higher. Going into 12. Because we did not retrace below 50% of this BISI, of this displacement leg, that makes me almost certain that we're going to reach for this buy side liquidity here. I'm almost certain of it. Almost certain, I say, because nothing is ever completely certain. But I'm fairly confident we're going to reach for this buy side. Notice that price has left relative equal highs here. Price will come back for this. It's going to. Yeah. Going into 145. $2.15 in the silver bullet hour. Notice how we come into this BISI. We're going to see higher prices here now. Going into 230, 245. Moving into the power hour. I'm going to trade this. I'm going to trade this. Okay, so we're going to make this a 2-hour trade. Why am I going long here? This looks like a classic ICT buy day. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We are in the last hour of trading. But the reason I'm going long here is the reason I'm going long is I want to buy on downward candles. We've moved into a discount of this displacement here, and I want to see this buy side liquidity taken. We're in the last hour of trading, so we really could just be making a top right here. We could be making it a high for the day, and we could see a deeper retracement, but we're here to learn. Moving into power hour, my belief is that we will continue to see buy side delivery for the rest of the day. This is a buy in a discount of a displacement. Looks like an ICT classic buy day. We may not reach our target because we are in the last hour of trading. I don't know what's going on with the journal function here. So, okay, so we're in the trade. This is going to be the final trade of this video. Going into 330, 345. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. 2 handles off of getting stopped out, but our target was reached. I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with being right on this. It feels good to know where price is going. I'm really happy with this. I'm really pleased with this. Our bias was accurate. I'm really pleased with being able to see where price will go. That's really, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. To our trade, it feels really good to know where price is going to go. Going into 345 and 4. So the day is concluded. That's really, really excellent. Really, really excellent. I'm really pleased with that. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really, really wonderful. Again, looking at this entire range, moved higher, moved back in discount. Look at how beautifully price respects this 61.8% retracement level. That was our premise, that we were going to see a reversal. We had taken the past 3 days lows, purge and revert, moved into a discount of this larger time frame price leg. We continue to go higher, and we managed to capture in this last hour power trading 48 handles, buying on this downward candle of this displacement leg, OTE. That's really excellent. I'm really pleased with this session. Anyhow, that is going to conclude this recording. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.